All right, hey South Texas, hope your day is going well. It is a great day here all across South Texas. We're starting off today with temperatures outside sitting in the 70s. I got someone calling me. I'm going to hang up on that. Mold coming in at light levels. We're going to be seeing some nice conditions as we head throughout today because we are going to have a cold front move through. Some drier air is going to be heading into our area. Now take a look at the aquifer, sitting at 658.9 to start off today. You notice that is about a 0.3 of a foot of a fall as we've made our way throughout the last 24 hours. And you notice the 10-day average at 659.2. So 10-day average also down. We need to see that go up, but we just don't have enough rain in the forecast to really kind of help that out. But we are seeing a little bit of shower activity this morning. Not everyone's seeing it, but some people are seeing a little bit of light drizzle fall. I see a lot of people saying good morning to all of you. I hope you're all doing well. Of course, we're live on Facebook, and I'd love to answer some of y'all's questions whenever you send them our way. Send them my way. I'd be happy to answer them for you. Right now, a little bit of drizzle out there towards the San Antonio airport where temperatures are sitting at about 70 degrees. It's 68 at Calaveras Lake. Pretty foggy out there. We do have a little bit of fog to deal with this morning. Now, as we head throughout today, the fog is going to mix out. We're going to be left with more sunshine. A front's going to pass through. We're going to be left with drier conditions too. 5-mile visibility in San Antonio, 3 in Honda, 1.7 miles in Uvalde, and then you see Carrizo Springs sitting at a 2-mile visibility. So some areas not doing too good. Meanwhile, up towards the hill country, 10-mile visibility in Kerrville and in Rock Springs. So some areas doing a little worse than others. Gary says, good morning. It is overcast in Uvalde. Come on, sunshine. Gary, we're going to get some sunshine later on today. You're going to see that here when we run through the future clouds and radar. But right now, there's all that cloud cover we're dealing with. A thin band of shower activity moving through too. Again, we do have a front moving through the region at the moment. I'm going to try to draw it on the screen to the best of my ability where it is. It's just about right there. So already starting to see some drier conditions trying to move into the region. Looking closer into the area, you'll notice that we're not seeing any rain on the radar. That's because all the stuff that's falling is so light and it's so low level that the radar isn't even picking it up. So we do have a little bit of rain out there. Just because radar's not showing it doesn't mean it's not happening. One of my satellite and radar professors said sometimes the radar's dumb, and you have to be able to identify that. We talked a little bit about model data yesterday during our weather update just yesterday morning, and that's another thing. You know, we talked about model data, but also satellite and radar data. Sometimes you have to be able to decipher when it's wrong or when it's showing something that's not actually rain. So, because sometimes we can see bats, sometimes we can see dust, sometimes we can see all sorts of stuff in the air with radar. But right now, not showing the rain, even though we are having a little bit of light drizzle, that's just closer down to the surface. 66 degrees in Rock Springs. We have 56 in Fredericksburg. Remember, cooler, drier air moving in. We already see it moving into Fredericksburg there. 70 degrees in San Antonio, 73 in New Braunfels, 78 in George West, and 78 in Beeville. Whew. Port Lavaca, it is 83 right now. I see we have drizzle in Windcrest. Yeah, a lot of us dealing with that. I mean, yeah, and it's making the roads a little wet. You know, we haven't had a lot of instances where we've had wet roads here over the last couple of months. Take it easy on those roads, you know. When you're taking off at the red light, make sure that you're not spinning your tires too much. Leave a lot of room between you and the car in front of you. You know, slowly come to that stop. Don't pound those brakes too hard. You know, just take it easy on the roads, guys. Take it easy on the curves, too. We want to make sure everyone gets where they need to be this morning safely. We don't want any incidents out there on the roadways. Temperatures rising up to the 80s this afternoon. And again, guys, I told you we're going to be drier. You notice that cloud cover really thins up, and we're left with a lot more sunshine. I'm going to run this through again. Future clouds and radar shows it thin up by the time we get to about 3 to 4 o'clock, and looking a lot better by the time we get to this afternoon, more clear skies. And when we have drier air, I always try to describe it like this. Take a pot of water, and it's not exactly like this, but it's kind of like this. So it's one of the best ways I could describe this, I guess I could say. Take a pot of water and put a little bit of water in it. And then take another pot of water, put a ton of water in it. The one that has a little bit of water, if you put it on both of them on the stove at the same temperature, the one with a little bit of water is going to heat up faster and start boiling quicker. The one with a lot of water is going to heat up slower. Moisture helps to keep temperature. And if we have less moisture in the air, our temperatures will fluctuate more. So when we have the drier air move in for tonight, it's going to allow our temperatures to drop more. That's why the temperatures are dropping to the 40s and 50s when you wake up tomorrow. But on the flip side of that, we're still going to be very warm tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures are going to rise into the lower 80s, much like what we have for today or what we had over the last few days. But it's not going to be as humid. It's going to be more comfortable of a lower 80s. That's the good news. But it still is going to be warm in the afternoon, even though we're having cooler mornings. Just want to make sure you all are ready for that. Starting off the day on Thursday, we still have temperatures in the 50s to start off, and then we'll warm up to the 80s again as we head into the afternoon. I think we're going to be dry on Thursday, maybe a little bit of cloud cover closer on towards the Rio Grande, but that's about it. We're going to be seeing some moisture return by the time we head into the weekend, though. So there's the drier air mass I talked about. Dew points dropping down to the 30s. You know, we have dew points in the 60s to start off today. But when those dew points drop down to the 30s, that's that drier air, and that means that we have more fluctuation in the temperature. So I ran that through again, just so y'all could see it run through. That's our dew points map, by the way. Someone was asking me yesterday, what's that brown stuff coming in from the west? It's not a dust model or anything like that. That was just drier air moving in. The green was to represent the moisture. The brown was to represent the drier air. And the brown colors there was the drier air moving into our region. Now, we don't necessarily need drier conditions. We need rainfall. We want to have the cooler weather because that's what we're supposed to have in November. But we need rainfall. Unfortunately, the 7-day forecast not showing a lot of rain. We're expecting less than 1/4 of an inch of rain for everybody throughout the next week. And a lot of us are going to make it through the next week without seeing a drop of rain. It's not good news because we have exceptional drought right now in parts of Uvalde, Zavala, and Medina counties, and I expect that exceptional drought to grow. The severe drought that's stretching all the way down towards Maverick County is expected to grow or the extreme drought, is expected to grow, and then so is the severe drought that's in parts of Bexar County now. I expect it to grow further to the east. So not good news, guys. Drought continues to worsen, and I think that's just going to be the story here, not just for this next week. I think the next couple of months we may be dealing with drier conditions because we're locked into a strong La Nina pattern, and typically with a La Nina pattern, doesn't mean that it's always like this. There's chances that we could still get tons of rain, but typically we're drier and warmer in a La Nina winter. So with that weather pattern, that's what El Nino and La Nina is. It's a weather pattern for us. So here's what we have right now. You'll notice that May brought us 5.83 inches. Then since May, we have picked up less than 5.25 inches of rain. So that lets you know we are well behind. October was supposed to be our last good chance to get a good heavy soaking rain as far as averages are concerned. But it just doesn't look like we got it. We got less than 1/4 inch. November has been dry so far. We did receive a trace of rain on November 8th. I think that this drizzle out here may be heavy enough to get us 0.01, so 1/100th of an inch. And we'll see if we can put some numbers on the board for November other than a bunch of zeros. I would love to put some numbers on the board other than a bunch of zeros for November because we need that rain. Let's just hope we can get it. So here's your 7-day forecast. Temperature is expected to be rising into the 80s each day throughout the next week with the exception of Monday. That's going to be when our next good push of dry, cool air moves in. Unfortunately, not a lot of rain with it. We have a 20% chance for rain on Saturday. That's about it, guys. We need the rainfall. It just doesn't look like we're going to get it. Again, Wednesday and Thursday morning, going to be a little bit cooler, closer to average, but still above average. Average this time of year in the top right corner of your screen showing 52 for a low, 74 for a high. That's where we should be. By Monday, we're closer to that, but still even just slightly above average. So what's going to bring that big push of cooler air by next Monday? Well, we're going to have two systems pass through. The first one is going to be staying a little bit off to the north, the one that we have for today. The second one, by the time we head into the middle or the end of the week, is also going to be staying further north. Now, remember, this model was showing us that they were going to be dipping further south just a few days ago, but now it looks like they'll stay further north, which means less cool air, less rainfall chances. And when I say systems, whenever we're looking at an upper-level map, keep an eye out for these waves. think of it like waves in the ocean. So you get peaks and valleys, you little troughs, a low point of the wave. Imagine that's what that is, what I just circled. You notice that it has a big dip in it. That's going to be cooler air moving further south. That's also going to be a low pressure system, bringing in rainfall for some areas. Unfortunately, when it stays that far north, we miss out on the rain, typically. So not looking good on rain chances for us, guys. It's just not going to bring enough energy down our way to give us more chances for rain. So temperatures again, there's the 7-day forecast. I will say this, I didn't mention this a second ago, Veterans Day. If you do have any outdoor plans, it is looking very nice. Of course, we all want to honor our veterans that have served the United States and our communities, of course, every day. Big thank you to all of them. If you have any outdoor plans to celebrate a veteran in your family, in your neighborhood, or just one of your friends too, you're going to have great weather to head outside and do that. Of course, remember, practice safety. This is the year with coronavirus, and be safe out there, everyone. So temperatures are expected to rise into the 80s, but remember, it is going to be a manageable lower 80s because it will not be as humid as what we have for today. So, beyond the 7-day forecast from day 8 through day 14, remember what I mentioned earlier, La Nina winter. That means that we have above average temperatures typically. Well, we stay with above average temperatures from day 8 through day 14. Beyond the 7-day forecast, temperatures stay high. Also, we stay with drier conditions. Remember, La Nina winter, drier winter, typically. We stay with below normal temperatures, below normal rainfall, above average temperatures, below normal rainfall. And you see that there from day 8 through day 14. We need the rain. It's just we're not that lucky. Now, I mentioned earlier that we have broken some records as far as the tropics are concerned. We now have had 29 named storms. That means that we have broken the 2005 record for number of named storms used in a single season. Now, you may be saying, wait a minute, we didn't use Eta in 2005. So didn't we break it with the last named storm? And the answer is no. It actually has to do with the fact that there was an unnamed storm in the Atlantic during the 2005 season. So because of that, there should have been an Eta. It just never was named, and it wasn't considered a storm that should have had a name until after the season was over. So I'll say that again. A system in the Atlantic during the 2005 season that probably should have had a name. It didn't impact land. It stayed out in the ocean. The National Hurricane Center went back and said this storm probably should have had a name, labeled it as an unnamed storm, which means that we should have eventually had an Eta during the 2005 season. So this year, because we had that unnamed storm that's would have been considered a named storm, we have broken the record for number of named storms. I hope that explains it well. It is kind of tricky, so if you're a little confused by that, don't worry. But yes, this is now the new record, 29 named storms in a single season. We have now made it to Theta for the first time ever in history. We do also have a high chance for tropical development down towards the Caribbean. This system isn't expected to impact the United States just as of now. We're going to keep an eye on it. But I definitely don't think it's going to impact us here in Texas. If it does get a name, the next Greek letter is alpha, beta, gamma, delta, epsilon, zeta, eta, theta, iota. I always have to say it in my head. It's kind of like, I don't know, just trying to go through the numbers in my head. But iota would be the next Greek letter. So where's Eta going? Eta looks like it'll head off to the northern Gulf of Mexico, and it will head up towards Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and the Florida Panhandle by the time we head into Sunday morning. Now, this is an area that has been impacted by a lot of tropical systems this year, but the good news behind this one is it's just a tropical depression. It's a lot weaker. Still could put down a lot of heavy rainfall, things that they don't need. A lot of people trying to clean up from Sally, closer on towards the Alabama coast. Remember, Sally made landfall there just about a month ago, I believe. And a lot of people still trying to clean up from that. So they don't want to have to deal with more heavy rainfall, but at least it won't be as serious of a storm as what they've already had this year. And then where's Theta going? Theta is actually a subtropical storm. So, it doesn't have all the characteristics of a tropical storm. It's lacking some things, but it is still considered a named system. So subtropical storm Theta, expected to stay way across the Atlantic, not impacting us here in the United States, but we'll keep you updated on it. There's the Greek alphabet, Iota, the next named system, if we do earn that down to the Caribbean. And then you see Kappa, Lambda, Mu, Nu, Xi, Omicron. I'd be very surprised if we made it all the way down to Pi. But, of course, things can happen. We'll keep a close eye on it. Here's your Lone Star 3-day forecast here across the state of Texas. Temperatures in the 60s to 70s to even 80s, depending on where you are as we head throughout today. Seeing a lot of sunshine there as we head into Wednesday and Thursday. Waco's the only one as we head throughout the next 3 days for our Lone Star 3-day forecast, that is, that gets lucky with a little bit of shower activity for today. And then your Texas State Park forecast for tomorrow. If you enjoy hiking, tomorrow morning is going to be absolutely stunning. Going to have a mostly clear sky to start off the day. Temperature is going to be in the 50s across much of the region. We rise into the 70s and 80s for the afternoon. May want to pack a little bit of water for the afternoon because it could be a bit warm at times. But guys, that's about it. Hope you can get outside and enjoy today. It is going to be beautiful out there. Those temperatures rising up to the 80s. It will be a little bit more sunshine than what we had today, much like what we've had the last few days, with the exception of the fact that, it's going to be a little bit drier this afternoon. It's going to take time for that drier air to move in. But it will be more comfortable by the time we head into the sunset hours, closer on towards 5, 6, and 7. So get outside, enjoy the weather. Take it easy on these roads because some of them are a little damp from this drizzle we've been dealing with. We'll keep you updated on everything right here at KENS 5. I'll be on for Meteorologist Andrew Wilson at noon today, and Weather Chief Bill Taylor's in at 4, 5, 6, and 10. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and we'll keep you updated on everything right here at KENS 5.